Hello, everyone. Renata from the eSpot here with what will become first of very many videos where I review the fan experience at all of the Liiga arenas here in Finland. So this weekend, I went to a game in Mikkeli, and I went with the fan supporter group from Jyväskylä, Hurrikanesudan, and we took a bus trip with all of the fans to support the team in Mikkeli. I'll probably do a separate video where I talk about that experience because it was really cool and amazing, and I can't wait to do that again, taking a fan trip. But in this video, I just want to focus on Mikkeli and what I thought about the experience there at the game, and eventually compare it to the other Liiga arenas. I have been to the uh, Jup Arena here in Jyväskylä, and I've also been to Isku Arena in Lahti. So I do know what kind of the standard is for the Finnish arenas. I've also been to Nokia Arena, but for a concert. So not exactly the same, but I'm not basing this review off of what I experienced at Nokia because I know that that is a specific um, arena, being the newest arena and really the nicest one in Finland and totally amazing on US standards. But like I said, I want to focus on Mikkeli. So this arena is called Let's Go Arena, which is the sponsor. I guess it's a taxi company. I think it's a great name for an arena, the Let's Go Arena. It's like a fan chant anyway, let's go. So I really like the name. This is the home of Jukurit, not Jokerit, but Jukurit from Mikkeli. They were founded in 1970 and they became a part of Liiga in 2016. So they are I think the newest team in Liiga. And this arena is a little bit older than 2016. It was built in 1982. It seats 4,200 people. Well, I shouldn't say seats, it has a capacity of 4,200 people because 1,600 of those spaces are standing spaces. I was in a standing space, and that was at the end behind the goal. And then there was another standing space across the way for the supporters of the home team for Jukurit. So this is actually kind of a big sports complex. There is the ice hall, which you can tell is one of the older components of this rink. But they also have like an indoor arena center, which when we pulled up, I thought it was a shopping mall. It kind of had like that big boxy like shopping mall look. So I was like, oh, wow, this is interesting. But it's actually like a indoor sports facility. They've also got a practice ice rink. They have a horse racing track, and they have football fields and other kinds of sport uh, spaces inside of this larger complex. There was a little interesting thing that I saw when I was reading on Wikipedia, and it said that um, they had done a major renovation in 2011 to 2013 where they added suites and restaurants and an extended entrance area along with a new dressing room area because some of the dressing rooms had dated to the period when it was only an open air rink before they built the regular structure in the 80s. So it was like apparently in 2011, so a little over 10 years ago, it was extremely outdated. So keeping that into consideration, I'm going to go right into the ranking and talk immediately about the actual arena facility. So like you say that like the where you play hockey, you call it a barn. Like you call these arenas barns because they used to be played in barns, but they're state of the art facilities like in the US in NHL. I'm not comparing this to the NHL. This is a very different league, very different culture. But this place is a barn, man. It is rough in places. For example, I mean, I immediately looked up at the roof because I could tell that it was like timber. And I thought like, oh, maybe it's like a nice wooden roof. But then I looked closer and I was like, oh, it's like actually like plyboard and has water damage. So like I could see that there was these dark spots all over the ceiling, mostly at places where like water would be able to get in, like where boards are being joined. So obviously they've got some problems with the roof. That's hard. I mean, it's hard to replace a roof. It's expensive. Um, and this is like the wettest place on earth. I don't think I've experienced a single dry day since I got to Finland. So I can imagine that they're probably not the only people who have issues with water getting into their roof, but it is concerning and does show like the age of the building, which is too bad. Uh, Something else that I noticed right away was that the seating goes to like 90-degree angles. Like it doesn't go all the way around the arena like smoothly. Also, the seating stands were kind of like raised up, so it was kind of a catwalk all along like the bottom area, which I'm sure makes it very easy for particularly television staff to like move around with their cameras and stuff. But they lose out on the ringside seating. You know, you're not right up next to the glass because there's always going to be like a little bit of space for that catwalk area. So I really don't like that kind of setup. I do like it when it comes up a little bit more intimate up close to the glass. Something else about the design of the arena itself is that you can't walk like all the way around it when you're in the corridors where they've got the food and stuff. Um, One of the things I like to do when I go to arenas is I like to kind of do like the full lap. You know, you check out the whole level. Baseball stadiums in particular are really great to walk around because they're huge, and you typically can like walk around like multiple levels on the whole thing, and you know see all these different views, all the different kind of stuff that they've got going on in the hallways. But it kind of like ends. I'm guessing it's probably offices or something administrative in the back parts, the dressing rooms, maybe for example. But it feels a little bit dead endy. Like, you know, if you walk to the one to the end, I think there was like a bar seating area. You can't just like continue in the circle. Like you've got to go back. And so as I was exploring, I felt a little bit awkward because I was kind of just like walking to the end and then turning around and walking back. So I don't really like the flow of that. And it also makes it feel like a little bit claustrophobic in the hallways. But that's just something about the design of the building, and it's too bad, but I understand why it is that way. But more positive things. They had some interesting. I don't know if they're like actively used or if they're remnants of maybe before they got those extra facilities added on. But there was like the floor was like a running track, and it didn't look decorative. Like it looked like it was almost even the material for like an indoor running track. And there was also a rock climbing wall inside, which was just interesting. Like it didn't look like you could really use it at least. Like there was no crash pad, so I don't think you would want to use a rock climbing wall in those conditions. But it was just kind of cool to see this other kind of aspect of the building. They also had historical photos, like of past teams, up on the walls, like blown up really big. They had some like little figure skaters from the past that were up there. That was cool. And they also had framed photographs of staff on the wall. So like security staff, food staff, like hung up, kind of displayed. So it's sort of like you've got the players on one wall, the people that make the organization great, but then you also had the other people that make the organization great. So although this is not like a really amazing arena, you can tell that they're doing the best with what they have. And the arena does not get in the way of having fun or enjoying yourself. So I'm going to give them a 6 out of 10 for the arena. So moving on, one of the most important things when you go to a sporting event is the food. So they've got the kind of standard selection of food. They had hot dogs and sausages. They had lots of candy. They had sweets. They had sandwiches. They had putipanu. I googled it and it looked like fried potatoes and meat. So they did have kind of interesting kind of standard selections. And then they also had a hamburger stand and they had a pizza stand. So there were a few extra options kind of on top. I ended up getting, I'm kind of boring, I guess. I ended up getting a hot dog and a Jaffa. So I I was a little bit surprised when it was €9 for a hot dog and a can of soda, because it's just a can. It's not like it was a big bottle or anything. Um, so $5 or €5 for a hot dog, 4 for a soda. In the U.S., it would be hard to get like a $9 hot dog and soda deal. But I don't know. I feel like that should have been $7.50. But it was perfectly good hot dog. The bun was like warmed. It was in a warming tray. So it was nice. As far as hot dogs go, I'd give the hot dog like a 7. It was just a perfectly fine hot dog. That's not uh, including the overall ranking. There's no separate hot dog score, but as far as hot dogs go, it was pretty good, decent hot dog. So I also had I had the hot dog and the soda before the game started. And then in the second intermission, I went back and I got a coffee and a donut. And coffee and donut was good. Same thing that I've noticed all over Finland is the coffees tend to be like extremely hot, like burning your mouth hot, not just, but like burning your hand on the outside of the cup hot level. So it actually took me like the whole intermission and the whole next period just to be able to drink it, because it like wasn't cooling down fast enough because it was cold in the arena. So something else they had, and I regret not getting, was that they had glöggi, and I don't actually. I've only had it once, and I didn't actually really like it that much. Like, it was okay, it was good, but I do regret that I didn't get the glöggi because it is a seasonal thing, and I did only have it the one time. So I would like to try a few more varieties before the holiday's over. But all of that considered, I'm going to give them an 8 for food. Good selection. Oh, something else I didn't add because I didn't drink it, but the alcohol is so cheap here at sporting events. And I know Finnish people watching are like, it's not cheap. The alcohol is so expensive. But if you come to the US, it's like $18 for a beer. You want an alcoholic mixed drink, like you're paying $20 maybe for that mixed drink. Um, oh, my dog wants to, she's jumping on me. Come on, Cookie. Oh, Cookie has something to say. She says she gives the Mikkeli experience 0 because it took her mama away from her for so many hours, for probably 8 hours. I left her alone. Oh, terrible. So I guess Cookie is going to be joining now. So yeah, 8 for the food. And then the fan store, another important part of the experience when you're visiting a hockey rink, or really any kind of, like, I guess I shouldn't say touristy, but event-based experience, where you're going out of town, you want to get a souvenir. So the fan shop, um, I was not impressed with the fan shop. It was really small, and I think they actually called it mini, which implies that there is a larger fan shop somewhere, and they've just got a smaller one operating during the games. I don't know that that's a great way to do it, personally, because the selection was kind of small. And my biggest like gripe with the fan store here is that they did not have any plush toy. So I collect plush toys. I love mascots, and I have Urho Mursku, I have Pekko Pelican, I have Ilves Ipa, but I really wanted to get one of their plush toy, and they didn't have a plush toy for the mascot. So I was like, well, I guess I gotta find something else to buy then, because I did want to buy something. So I ended up getting, oh, I'm sorry, Cookie. I ended up getting a ruler because I thought it seemed useful. And it's a little branded. It's got their little logo on it. It says Jukurit tunne se tunne. Um, so I don't have a ruler, and I thought it seemed like it would be useful to have. So I got a ruler. It was €3. And then I also got, since I couldn't get a Hamo plush toy, I got a Hamo coffee. And this coffee is from a local place called Kirjalan Patimo. So I did get a little piece of Hamo. I did have this coffee this morning. It was good coffee. It tasted very fresh. So that was good. This was 225 grams, and I think it was €12. So a little bit pricey. However, it was something to bring home. And I do like when gift shops have things that are a little bit more like local. Something else that they had, I didn't see it in the gift shop, but I did see it on their website, is they actually have a scooper stick for sauna, and the handle is made out of a recycled hockey stick. So I don't know. I thought that was kind of cool, handmade, unique thing, great gift. I'm sure some people are going to be giving those for gifts this Christmas. So I thought that was kind of a cool item too. But if they would have had a plush toy, I would be ranking, I'd give them like an 8 minimum if they had a plush toy. But because they don't have a plush toy, I am only giving them a 5, because there was just so much to be desired from it that I couldn't give it any more than that. So get a plush toy and I'll increase your ranking. But until then, this is going to be one of the more disappointing aspects, which is too bad because I was willing to spend money there, and I would have spent more money there if they had the specific type of souvenir that I wanted, but they didn't. So moving on to the next topic. The reason I wanted the plush toy so bad is because I love mascots. So of course I've got to rank the mascot. And I did a Liiga ranking, a mascot ranking like a year ago. And since I did that ranking, they've got new mascots. Mascots have been redesigned. And so I need to redo that ranking and, I think adjust it. But this was one of the mascots that I had originally ranked really high. And I still believe that it's a very good mascot. In fact, it's a great mascot. Like, I thought it was a good mascot based on photos, but it's a great mascot based on like actually watching it in the arena. Something that I really liked about this mascot and their performance was that they had kind of like in the area that you walk out from the hall to get into the stands. They had like a very nice, it almost looked like a stage for him, with like this nice backdrop. And he would actually come out and he would dance, and they'd put like a spotlight on him and everything. Like, it looked really good. They would also bring the children from the fan area to dance with him, and they'd put them on the jumbotron. And like, it was just it made it seem really nice and high energy. It also made it seem more like a performance, like they kind of give the mascot its moment. It's not that the mascot's running around on its own, like it actually gets like the focus put towards it. And I thought that was really cool. Something else that I liked was that the mascot did come all around, like to all of the different sections. And I don't know if maybe it's part of the coloring of the mascot being yellow and blue the way that it is, that it makes it really easy to spot in the crowd. Um, but you could see that like he was making his rounds. He was also in the hallways during the intermission. So I got a chance to meet the mascot in the hallway. It was kind of funny. I was eating my donut and like I saw the mascot walking past me, and I put my donut back down on the plate, and then I like chased down the hall to the mascot so I could take a picture. I left my coffee and my donut over on the ledge, and I go and I run to go take pictures with him. So I did get the picture. It's the one you saw in the thumbnail. Yeah, so very nice, friendly mascot. Definitely a good mascot for kids. Like it's not scary. So like it's not going to scare children away or anything. So I do have one criticism for this mascot, and I did take a point away for this, and that is that he has white gloves. And the thing about white gloves is they get really dirty. So you could see that like the fingertips on the gloves were really dirty, and I just think that's like a little bit gross. This was a problem that Pecco had in Lottie. He used to have white gloves and they got dirty, and eventually they moved him into black gloves. So I think maybe they need to move him into blue gloves, or even yellow would be better. It still wouldn't show the dirt as brightly as the white ones. So that being said, I do give the mascot 8 out of 10. I think it's a good mascot all around. In fact, I think it's pretty great. So that is going to be a very respectable score for the mascot, Hamo. Next category is the music. I thought they had pretty good music. They had a lot of pop music, which I, of course, liked. We heard a little bit of Benjamin, Mirella, songs that I was familiar with, songs that I knew. They also used repeatedly the song Popcorn. And I'm not sure if this was the hot butter version. I think it was actually the Crazy Frog version of Popcorn, but they were sort of using it like a theme song. I couldn't pick out exactly like when it was that they were playing the song, but they definitely played it like a minimum of 3 times. Maybe it was a timeout song. I don't know. But Hamo would come out and Hamo would dance to Popcorn. And I love this song. It's a classic electronic music piece. So I thought that was great. Um, the thing is I didn't even really notice the music at first. So I felt like it didn't play as big of a role as maybe music could play. So I am going to give them an 8 for the music. I'm also going to put Cookie down because she's really annoying me, and I probably already am gonna have a lot of really hard cuts in this video because she keeps wiggling. I love you, baby butt. I love you, butt. Okay, moving on to the Zamboni. Seems like kind of a weird thing to rank, but I happen to really like Zambonis, and I was really impressed. They had 2 Zambonis, so that obviously gets the ice down really quickly. And they look brand new, like they had just purchased these Zambonis, so they looked really sharp. The thing is one of them was completely white, so although it looked good, it was a little bit boring. And then the other one just had like a pretty standard advertisement. I think it was for a towing company. So not super imaginative. Um, and I would probably give the Zambonis like a 6. However, there were other Zambonis here. And whenever the children, in their case, they used children would come out and they would scoop up all of the extra ice snow off of the ice and they would put them into these containers that looked like Zambonis. So I'm giving it 2 extra points and we're going to go with an 8 on the Zamboni score because they did have the like miniature Zambonis for the ice collection. And I did think that that was very, very cute. Okay, moving on to the bigger picture, bigger scores, kind of more important things, the game atmosphere. Cookie, I'm gonna. So there was not really a huge crowd in the arena. Jukurit is last in the league currently, so they haven't been playing super well, and that is always going to result in like low admission. But they did have a really big supporter section. Supporter section was full. And generally the vibe was very relaxed in the hallways. So I thought that it was like a very comfortable environment. There were a lot of children there, so I did feel very safe. You could tell people were bringing their families there. They did have cheerleaders, so that was a little bit something special. At least it felt like there was something going on at moments. There was always kind of something to see. Either it was Hamo dancing or the cheerleaders. Something was going on. Another positive was that they had good lighting equipment. So they had these like on ice projections, like they would have the logo spinning. They had the other Liiga teams logos up, I think during warm ups, and it was just kind of like nice. It had kind of a nice mood. They would run the lights during like the Zamboni period, goals and whatnot. I think they were running the lights. So Nice lighting system. I thought that was really good. It also happened to be, I don't know if it was like a military, honoring the military type of a night. They did have military people had like a table in the hallway, and they had like little model drones and equipment and stuff. Before the game started, when they were doing the lineups, actually before the lineups, they had some sort of a military celebration. Some military members walked out onto the ice and they had a wreath and there were flag bearers. And I heard the national anthem, which I was really surprised when I had gone to other hockey games that you don't do the anthem before the game, whereas in the US, you always do the anthem. So I did actually get to see the anthem sung, which was cool, a cool experience. And they had like the flag on the Jumbotron and everything. So I really liked that. Um, so that was another thing. They also had like the team wore military inspired jerseys. So it was kind of this whole theme night that's popular in the NHL too. So it all just kind of made like I felt like it was a bit memorable, and I'm gonna give game atmosphere a 7. It was good. It was good. It wasn't great, but it was really good, and I had a good time. And I would go back to the arena based on like the actual game experience. And the final category is the brand identity. I think they have a great brand identity, probably one of the better in Liiga, really strong. The logo, very modern, very professional looking. They use it effectively also all over the place. Everything is branded. Every wall has something Jukurit on it. They had kind of like art pieces. I don't know what to call them, but a little bit more creative pieces, things to take pictures of. Everything had this logo on it, which is good. Everything was color coded with the blue and the yellow. You could like just tell everything was totally saturated in Jukurit. I think they took the whole concept and they just really made it work for them. And I actually would have given them a 10 for brand identity. However, I realized that I did have to take a point away and give a 9 for brand identity, because I realized that even though the logo and the whole brand identity is a Viking, Jukurit is not like the Finnish word for Viking. It does not mean Viking at all. It's actually like a mythology character for the spirit of ice and water. So it's kind of like they've got this really strong Viking identity that they should actually be the Mikkeli Vikings or Vikingi, but they're Jukurit. And so it doesn't, that doesn't really match, like the name and the image doesn't really match, but I feel like the image is so strong that it still deserves a 9. I think this is the type of brand package that you could easily take like into the US and it could be like a successful hockey team brand. So let's check out the overall ranking. And we've got 60 out of 80. And if you're doing the math in your head, you're saying, but Renata, that's 59. Yes, that is 59. But I'm giving one bonus point because in the hallways, they were giving away buckets. And I had heard about Finnish people loving bucket giveaways, and I had wanted to get a free bucket somewhere, and I finally got my free bucket. It was given out by Pelastuspalvelu, which is like a human rescue. So they gave me some papers about search and rescue. Also got a lanyard, which is nice. And I got the bucket, and I also got one of those slap things, like a reflective slap bracelet, which is good to have. And there's a bucket. And so I also had gotten a bunch of stickers from the fan group. I love this one with the tractor. So I started putting my stickers on it. I love Kuma. I got that at the Kuma concert. So I think that I am actually going to use this as like my sticker bucket, because I can never commit to like where to put a sticker. So now I finally have something where I can put my stickers. So that will be my sticker bucket. So because of them giving away the extra buckets, I am giving an extra point. So we are going to be an even 60 out of 80 for the Jukurit fan experience. I will be, I mean, ranking as I can go to the arenas. I can't just travel around Finland. I've got a dog. It's expensive. So I'm going to go when I can, and I'll do the reviews when I can. I will do a Yoop review soon. I just want to go to another game because the first game that I went to, I wasn't really thinking fully about my ranking. So I do want to just go and just recheck. So Yoop will be next probably. And let me know what you think of Mikkeli and where you think maybe I should go and I should check next. Okay, bye guys. Thanks for watching.